Welcome back to the Metro Plus show. We're talking about a man now who likes to describe himself as a person born, bred and spoilt in Chennai. Ygeem Mahendran takes us back to the origin of the school PLUS-EPISODE-3 when Mohammad Rafi stayed on their terrace and many more memories.
Here's a man who can talk, he can sing as well as enact the memories of this city, Madras. And I am here with him at one of Chennai's reputed schools, PLUS-EPISODE-3 school. And interestingly, this school began under the thatched roof of his home in Nungambakkam. Let's ask him the origin of this school. How did it start off, sir?
My mother wanted to start a school which would bring about a rejuvenation of the Indian culture. So she started this as part of the Nungambakkam Ladies Club. I think hardly 10 or 15 people in the beginning students. All the members of the club, their children, they put them there. And then now today you know what it is, it's grown.
While the terrace became a school in the morning, it was a stage for drama rehearsals in the evening. And at times, it was also home to legendary singers like Mohammad Rafi.
Mohammad Rafi, it so happened that my father had arranged his shows in Madras at that time. I think it was 58 or 59. So he stayed in the Dasaprakash. But 2 days later, with the bag and baggage, he said, I want to move somewhere else. So my father said, where do you want to go? I said, your house. We were so embarrassed because it was just a thatched roof on top. He came and saw it, and at that time it was a speaker. He said, yeah, chai. Imagine going with him to the shows, coming back, and in the night he would take out his harmonium and start singing his rare ghazals, which are not coming out in movies. And because he needed an accompaniment, I was the tabla player for him at that time.
Is that how your interest with percussion instruments also started? Because
no, that started because our whole family is a sort of a musical family. My father said all of us have interest in music, we play instruments. So it just happened that I picked up percussion at an early age.
So it's not just at home, even at Chepauk Stadium, I think you go around with your percussion instruments.
The A stand was almost our stand. We were about 50 or 60 of us, or even more, with the drums, conches and towel also. I used to play the towel also there, and people used to look forward to those 5 days.
Music and drama were Ygeem Mahendran's two childhood loves. While his mother's PLUS-EPISODE-3 school is an important cultural platform in the December Music Festival, his father's United Amateur Artists has been a pathbreaker in the theatre fraternity with the introduction of conversational Tamil and more. But as Mahendran grew, it was the theatre bug that bit him more.
Even in my very first play, this Petraldan Playa, it so happened the scene opens with we are the younger version of the two heroes. About two scenes where the boys grow up. Usually had it in those days. So I was one of the heroes. And there was another guy called Kannan who acted with me. So the first scene was he would be sleeping as a little boy. I had to come and wake him up and say, come on, get up. It's time to go for a dance practice or something like that. It was a dialogue. I found that he was sort of covered himself in the quilt fully. So I really couldn't recognize the head from foot. So in my confusion, I just mentioned that as a dialogue. And the audience burst out laughing.
The secret behind his humor is timing. And Ygeem Mahendran has learnt, imbibed and mastered the tricks of a successful comedian from legends like Nagesh.
In comedy, my or a Manasika guru, as you would call it, though I didn't learn from him, was Nagesh. And he still is Nagesh. I don't think there is anyone to come anywhere near him. And it so happened that Nagesh also had his early footing in our troupe. He used to act in our troupes in the 50s and 60s.
Thank you so much, sir, for being here on the show with us. It has been indeed a memorable experience for us too. It has a content, it has a storyline, just like your plays.
Yep.
It's time for man to come together with his machine, and the twain can only meet because there's nothing anyone can offer Najam Musvi to part with his vintage singer. There's more to the Singer-9 Roadster than what meets the eye, at least for the Musvi family, which brought home the 1947 Singer from Bangalore 7 years ago. And ever since, this black-bodied, red-upholstered sports vintage car has been a source of pride and joy for Najam Musvi and his boys.
I was traveling in Bangalore, and my wife's uncle, Suleiman Jamal, he's the president of the Karnataka Vintage Motor Club, and he happened to tell me about this car being available. The owner was leaving town, so that induced me to go and take a look at it, and there was a vintage rally the next day, so it was an impulse buy. We picked it up, drove it the next day, and he was helpful in trucking it to Chennai thereafter.
The singer was also instrumental in reuniting two old friends. Philip Miller and Ygeem go back 30 years when they were biker buddies. They lost touch somewhere down the line, but Ygeem sniffed him out when he got the singer and knew he needed help to restore the old lady. After all, Philip's repertoire for restoring cars was legendary, having brought back around 40 cars to their former glory.
To restore the Singer took about 6 months, from September to maybe about end of January, February. It took a long time because we couldn't get certain parts for the engine of the Singer car. So we had to make some parts, fabricate it, recondition it, and then after setting all together, there was a lot of other problems like oil leaks and gear not falling and all these small things. So that's what took a lot of time.
Post-World War II, almost all British car companies had to start afresh. But the Singer Car Company was one of the few to relaunch its pre-war roadster without any changes. Singer drove the same car around till 1949, when it began to upgrade the roadster and reintroduced it as different models.
The special feature about the Singer car is the front wheels work on the main brake pedal and the rear wheels work on the hand brake, that is the parking brake. The special feature about this car is it's not like the regular cars which have hydraulic brakes. This is wire brakes or cable brakes. So to make it more efficient, you have the front wheels as the main brake and the rear wheels as the hand brake.
There's a lot of wood, Burma teak, in the car's body, a common material used in vehicles back then. The Roadster might have been low on power, having just a 3-speed gearbox and a top speed of 65 miles per hour. But it made up in looks and style, with its graceful lines, foldable windshield and sporty seats. And Ygeem, after having such a good run, is preparing to take the next plunge.
It's been around 7 years since we have took me and this old lady time to get to know each other. Now I'm ready for the next one. We are shopping for an MG.
Ygeem and his sons take the Singer out for a spin every Sunday, and the practice paid off as the Roadster recently drove from Chennai to Puducherry and later at the Irangatu-Kottai racetrack without any hiccups.
When we bought the Singer at first, it used to pack up a lot on the way, so we actually pushed it more than we drove it. But now we take the Singer out every Sunday, so it's a lot of fun.
The driving experience is pretty tough but pleasurable. There ain't no power steering, there ain't no power brakes. I mean, it's all manual, and it's good fun, takes you back in memory lane. It's an experience by itself.
The last Singer Roadster rolled out in 1955, but thanks to Ygeem's impulse purchase, this vintage beauty lives to tell her tale. And when Ygeem buys his MG, we'll definitely be there with our camera in hand. Coming up on the show, MFEO, Sonu and Shobha.